Seen Love on the Spectrum?
No, what is that show?
Did you ever watch The Undateables?
Yes, but not religiously, but I know the show.
You know the show,
I know
The
the
Undateables.
premise of the show,
Yeah,
yes.
so the Love on the Spectrum is literally the Australian version of The Undateables.
Okay.
So it's
That makes sense now, knowing.
it's on
about
Netflix
it.
now. Fam. Oh my god. These Asperger's Donnies, they want love. And they go through it, fam. These men have got autism, the deep autism. First of all, I'm slightly concerned I might have autism.
Why?
All these men love anime. Every single one of them loves anime.
That's not a symptom of autism.
Fam, isn't it? If you watch the show, you'll second guess yourself. I was thinking, why do they love anime so
I love
much?
anime.
I love anime.
Don't scare me. I like to be syndrome free.
All of them love anime. There's I don't know where to begin. There's one guy called I actually had to write their names down because I actually watched it a little while ago. What's his name?
Can't find it.
No, I found it.
Okay.
There was a Chinese guy in there. Oh, it was so awkward. So they go on the dates, bro, and they're so awkward. So obviously the premise is they're looking for love, they're autistic, they're looking for love, and they struggle like with social interaction and stuff like that. So this agency sets up dates for them, usually with other people with autism. Bro, some of the stuff, they're so honest. There's one girl that she's bisexual and she's got autism. So she went on a date with another guy who's got autism.
Okay.
And they're just their conversations, fam, are just mad. Like she'll be like, cool, like what are you into? Obviously him, anime, this, that, and I was like, cool. And they were talking, and he'd be like, cool, like what are you into? And she was like, I like girls and boys. And he's like, swear down. And they don't know what to do with that information. And they're just like, cool, bro. And he was like, yeah. I thought I might be gay one time. And then she was like, I swear. And he's like, yeah. Then I watched gay porn, and it was just like, no way. And they talk like they're kids, and they're just like, no way. I didn't like that one bit. Man said I didn't like that one bit. So I know that's how I know I'm not gay.
That would sweet me if I saw that.
I was pissing myself.
If I was in the restaurant and I was on a table next to them, I would be holding my breath.
Man said I thought I was gay, but then I watched gay porn. I was like, Jesus
No
Christ.
way.
No way. Not for me.
That's jokes.
Man said I didn't like that one bit.
That's jokes.
So yeah, there was one yet that was trying to find love. She was bisexual. I think she started dating a girl, but then that didn't work out. So she's still looking for love. There's one guy. Oh my god, I can't remember his name. I think it begins with A. It might be Adam or something like that. One guy, he wants to be in love. There's two guys that want to be in love. This first guy, he tries to pattern the nicest dates. He's just so obsessed, and he's always talking to his mum and dad. Basically, he loves his younger brother. Okay. His younger brother doesn't have autism.
Okay.
And his younger brother, he's like, his younger brother's, it's called like Michael or something like that. He's like, I like to see my, like, he said something along the lines of like, my younger brother is like God's gift. Like he's the golden egg from God. And I'm just like the shit on the bottom of God's shoe.
Jesus.
My brother, like, he's handsome. He really finds it easy to talk to girls. He's always had a girlfriend. He wants to be his younger brother. He admires his younger brother so much. And he hates the fact that he's got autism. And he just struggles to find love.
Damn.
And, like, he's always, like, passionate. The agency lady come to his yard, like, okay, cool. So what can you tell me about yourself so we can tell these girls? And he's like, you need to tell them, bruv. You need to tell them I'm passionate. I'm lovely. I love my mum. I love my dad. Like, I'm family orientated. Like, I intend
How
to
old
make...
is this, bro? Roughly?
Oh, fam, he's in his 20s, maybe 30s.
Okay.
And he's like, he lives with his parents, obviously, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he's like, what's he say? I love music and I love romance. And
He sounds like
that.
such a nice guy.
Fam, he's the nicest guy. And he's like, I love romance. And if I was a husband, I would be 10 out of 10 husband.
Oh, bless.
And I was like, fuck. And they set him up on this date. And this other lady, she's got autism, but she suffers from anxiety bad. So my man patterned the sickest date. Fam, I've never seen a restaurant like it. It was literally like a restaurant, and like half the restaurant was made out of glass. And it was hanging off like a cliff. So you'll basically feel like you're sitting in the ocean. It was sunset. Wow. So you look outside next to your like table out the window, and it's just rocks and sunshine and sea. It was romantic.
Oh, wow.
And he's out there. He got a full suit.
You've mentioned this before.
Have I?
Is this where you said She said she's not feeling it. I can change all of this. I
Fam,
I don't need this.
Literally.
Yeah, you mentioned this on this podcast, but you just briefly spoken about it.
Oh, fam. Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't the podcast, but you told me. Anyway,
I think it was on the pod, fam.
Continue.
Yes, she came in. He gave her 2-2 conversation. She wasn't feeling it. And she was like, I'm not feeling this. And then the cameraman had to step in like, do you need a break? And she was like, yeah, I need a break. Give me a glass of water. Shoved her off and he was sitting there like this, fam. He was sitting there looking around and he asked the producer, he was like, David, is she all right? And David's like, yeah, it's fine, chill. And he's panicking. He's thinking, what have I done? And he's looking around like, this is too much. And he found me saying like, why did I do this? I've overwhelmed her. Family runs over to her and he's like, I'm sorry, we don't have to do all this. I don't need this massive date kind of thing. We can just talk. We can just be friends. She's like, leave me alone. Stop. Family goes back and sits there. He goes back and slumps in his chair and he sits there. And I was like,
oh, my boy. Why'd I have to do that
fam,
to my boy?
if I was in a restaurant on my date, I would say, bitch, get up and sit with him. Leave me. I'll pay for the whole thing. Fam, I want you to hold him, bruv. Keep your chest up, my G. There's plenty of yats out there.
It reminded me of the dating around show I told you about when my man was feeling one chick and said, we're just going to be friends on the way home. And he just stumped into the car and a tear rolled down his eye.
I remember that.
I wanted to scream from the top of my lungs.
Dating around was live. I remember that. He got a date though in the end, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He's a lavish guy.
Yeah, he was polite.
So polite.
Fam, there was another guy on the show called Kelvin, yeah? Kelvin, Chinese kid. Loves anime.
Gang, obviously.
He even wrote his own anime and drew it and everything.
Gang.
Yeah, it was sick. He's got so much time in his hand. But he's got, like, his autism strong, fam. Like, not to be dread, he speaks like, even though he grew up in Australia, he clearly spent too much time around his dad because he literally speaks with like a really strong Chinese accent. It's like half Chinese, half Australian. Even though he was born and bred in Australia. And he was just like, hello, my name is Calvin and I am looking for a date. And you're just like, and he's got like these really thick glasses and he looks like that. And you're like, oh, Calvin. And I loved Calvin. And he goes on this date and he loves anime so much.
Yeah.
And then like he goes on this date and this girl's got like this weird, and the thing is, with people with autism, I didn't realize because they spend so much time watching television, they pick up a lot of the themes and their social etiquette from watching TV.
Okay.
So a lot of them have American accents, even though they're not American.
Okay.
Because they watch so much American TV.
I never knew that.
Fam, neither did I till I watched that, but I thought it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Because I remember that when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I watched so much TV. Movies and TV is all I did.
So.
And literally, it would like, so some of the stuff I would say would come out like American. But anyway... I was watching it and then he goes on this date. He takes her to a, what's the type? I can't remember what the type of restaurant is called. You know, like Benihana, where they cook the chefs in front of you, they're doing
like
all the...
teppanyaki.
That's it. Takes her to a teppanyaki spot.
Yeah.
And then he sits down there and he even knows Japanese. He's Chinese, but he's learnt Japanese from watching anime.
Gang.
So every time he's sitting down, he's like, itadakimasu.
Gang.
And fam, he talks to the chef in Japanese.
Gang.
He's like, fam, he's the perfect guy. And he sits down with her and he's like, oh, hello, like, what do you like to do? And she's like, this is how she speaks. This is how she speaks, bro. She literally sits like this and her neck's like tucked in and she's got an American accent just because she watches so much American TV.
But she's Australian.
She's Australian.
Showing it,
and she just brings her Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
And she's just sitting there playing it. She's like, I'm just going to play my video games. And she sits there playing it like while he's talking. He's like, okay. And because... they don't know how to socially interact. The lady from the dating agency has talked them through step by step. You ask her what she likes to do. She's going to say this or this, and you're going to have to say this. So when it veers from the plan that they set out, he doesn't know what to do.
And
he's
looking
like,
around.
In fact, I wouldn't know what to do. And he's looking around like, he's like, okay. And he sits there and he's like, you can see his eyes look up trying to remember, like, what's the next step? And he's like, okay. So he's like, do you like anime? And then she's like, no, not really. And then she just turns and plays again. He's like, oh. And there's one bit, yeah. There's one bit where so she's playing there, and then he's like, oh, okay. I watch lots of anime, but I can't watch... he says another anime. He's like, I can't watch this because it's got adult themes. And I was like, oh, that's too cute. Certain anime is not allowed to watch because it's got pornographic content. She's like, cool, yeah, like I said, I don't really like anime.
Yeah.
Like, stop talking about anime. I don't like it. And he's like, okay, cool. And then he's like, oh, He's like, well, what do you like to do? She was like, oh, I just like to sit on my this is the dreadest thing. So she said, I like to sit on my computer, right? Mm-hmm. But the way she said it was, she said competitor. So
Okay.
it was, this 5 seconds of interaction was the weirdest and funniest and most shocking piece of content I've ever seen in the space of a back and forth of 5 seconds. Yeah. So she's like, yeah, I just like to play video games with my competitor. And then he's like, what did you say? And then he was like, competitor. And then she was like, what? She had no idea that she said competitor. So when he said competitor, she had no idea what he's on about.
Okay.
And because he's Chinese,
Yeah.
she was like, she literally said this. Look, I'm not trying to be racist, but what the hell is a competitor? I can't understand you. A man doesn't know confrontation like that. Kelvin doesn't know confrontation like that. So a normal person would be like, excuse me, bitch, you said competitor. Don't talk to me about racist. I don't understand what word just coming out your fucking mouth. Let me get the bill and get out of here. That's what a normal man would say. My girl said, I'm sorry, I'm not being racist, yeah, but what's that?
fuck
What's
is
competitor?
competitor?
Speak English, cuz.
Nah.
And man's like, he was flabbergasted.
Dumbfounded. I
Fam.
would be dumbfounded.
He was like, what? Fam, he was baffled. Man said, what? And he was trying to wrap the whole convo in his head. Fam, I was sitting there
going on?
like, what is going on? And he was like, what? No, and he was just said, no, come. And then he finally established, like, did you say computer originally? She was like, yeah. And he was like, cool. And he just like, at that point, he was
You had
just
to brush it off.
had enough. He'd had enough. And at the end, like, he was like, yeah, she's cool, but she doesn't like anime, so I'm not into it. And I was like, gang, you shouldn't be fucking into it.
Yeah.
She's a bitch. It's like, you get so defensive of these, man. So defensive.
imagine.
Fam, there's another guy called Mark. Mark is suave. Yeah, he's a white guy, and he walks like this, proper slow. But it's not even intentional. He just walks like this, and he's the most polite gentleman you've ever met. And he'll go on a date, and just be like, and he talks like this, and he's like, oh, hello. Yeah.
Okay,
he hasn't
yeah.
got the deepest form of autism.
Yeah.
But like, he just showers yats with compliments.
Okay.
Showers them with compliments.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, yes. Hello, yes. And then like, he sat down with this one coffee date with one yat. And he was like, if you don't mind me saying, you are just so beautiful. She wasn't. He's like, you're just so beautiful. Like, I'm so happy that you agreed to come out and have a date with me.
That's so nice to say.
Fam, Mark. Oh my days. If I was a yat, I'd marry Mark.
That's so nice to
Mark was the nicest dude. And I was like, fuck, please find love. Please find
say.
love.
You ride for them.
Fam,
You ride
you're
for them.
invested with it. And I was like, Mark, please. And he was like, at the end of it, he gave her a kiss on the cheek and he was like, oh, would you mind seeing me again? Like, would you mind like, just giving me the honor of like another date? And she was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. He's like, fantastic. Like, he literally sits there, he's like, fantastic. I can't wait.
Oh my
He literally
God.
says, I can't wait. And he goes home, buzzing, talks to his mum and dad. He's like 40. Talks to his mum and dad, like, I had such a great time on this date. I had such a great, she was so nice. Fam, went on another date. He loves dinosaurs. He knows everything there is to know about paleontology. So he takes the yacht on a second date. She was like, oh, to the museum. And he was like, yeah, I'm really into paleontology. And the yacht, she's got autism as well. But hers is really mild.
Yeah.
And she's like, paleo what? And he's like, paleontology. And she's like, sorry, what's that word? And he said, paleontology. And she was like, paleontology. And she got such a mild form of it that, like, if you met her, you thought she's a tiny bit, like, kind of quirky and weird. But you had no idea would you ever think that she's got autism.
Okay.
And the fact that she couldn't say paleontology was irking him to a point that he couldn't bear, but he was still trying to be suave because he wants love so bad. And he was like, paleontology. And she was like, paleontology. And she was like, I'm really sorry, I just can't say that word. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
And he's like,
He's perplexed.
his spectrum is moving. His spectrum is shaking.
He doesn't know if he loves her anymore.
Fam, and he's like, what is this? He's thinking, what is this? I'm trying to share my passions. This guy can't say paleontology. She's grown. And you can see his head doing backflips. And he just has to kind of brush it off. And he's like, this is Velociraptor, this, and this. My girl's yawning, fam. They can't hide their true feelings, these men.
Yeah, of course.
She's yawning. And you can see he's just like... And he's just paying her compliments. And at the end, fam, he was like, I just had such a great time with you. Thank you so much for sharing my passion. I'm really happy you agreed to come with me to the museum so I could tell you about what, like, really I'm passionate about, and like my love of dinosaurs and paleontology. Thank you so much. And it's such a beautiful day. And thank you for having ice cream with me. I'm so happy you agreed to meet me again. Like, I really, really like you. And I was wondering if you'd like to go on another date with me. Like, it would really, really make me happy. And she was like, nah, to be honest, like, I think we're just friends. Fam. And he was like...
You clenched his fist?
No, he didn't. But you could tell... Imagine like... And then he just beat the shit out of her.
Fam, you said 9, you were like, I thought he fully clenched his fist.
That's what I did. Fam, she was like, nah, I think we should be friends. And he was just like... His eyes squinted, fam. And he was like... Okay.
That's painful.
Fam, he took it in his heart and his chest and his sternum.
Had to swallow it.
And he swallowed it and he was like, okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Friends, fantastic. Would love to have you as a friend. He's like, I'd be honoured to have you as a friend.
Damn.
And his dad was waiting to pick him up.
Damn.
He walked over, he was like, hey, Dad. He literally said, hey, Dad. The dad was like, how did it go? And he was like, not great. She's not interested in anything with me.
Oh, that's annoying, man.
Fam, he's the nicest. She was butters as well. She was ugly as well. I don't want to be like, fuck her, bruv. You're too good for her anyway. Dickhead thing. I was so angry.
That hurts my soul.
Fam.
That hurts my soul.
The whole show is, I'm so happy it's only like 4 or 5 episodes because it's just...
It's too much.
The stress it puts you through, fam, is really, really hard.